there's going to be someone here. Yes, and we're live. I hope there's going to be some people joining into this live. I have my friend Palas, Mr. Ron Hubcult over here,
hello everybody.
As the expert on the Danish Sea Org and how the Scientology in Denmark operates, right?
Yeah, I will try my best.
Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed to Ron Hubcult's channel yet, please do so.
Yes. I'm almost 1,000 subscribers. Almost.
Yeah.
It's like 270 is missing, so it's not much.
Yeah, and hopefully we have Fluffer Squirrel in the background, and I hope I managed to give her the admin rights to be starring comments and being able to post on the chat also as a moderator. We'll have to see if it works, because this is the first time we're trying this way. So basically what we're talking about today is related to the video I made late last night. One of the biggest newspapers in Denmark published a big article regarding the abuse of children in Scientology, especially in the 80s and 90s when children were still allowed to be in the Sea Org. And I actually got the newspaper here now. So this is the front page of the newspaper. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And there's a big article with 6 pages on the newspaper of Cyril Chiquets' story. Or actually it's 5 pages, and then they gave 1 page for Scientology to give a response to the article. So I think that's what we're going to go through today, because I read through the article yesterday. So if you haven't seen that video, I recommend maybe go back to that one first, and then maybe watch this video at later points, so you know what we're talking about. Should we just get started?
Yeah, or maybe they can watch Aaron's video when they were talking to each other.
Yes, absolutely. So I think both give good information, some similar information, and some I think some of the information is a little bit different. And the article, I think, is a little bit more extensive than the chat that Cyril did with Aaron. But I have actually put the link to the news article and to the chat Cyril had together with Aaron on the video description of the live I did yesterday. So everything is available there. And of course, this is also related to, this article is related to a new book that is going to be released tomorrow in Denmark. It's called the Mørkets Hoteller. So unfortunately, it's only published in Danish at this moment, but it's a book written by an ex-Scientologist who left Scientology after 20 years in 2004. He's written a book about his own experiences in 2011. His name is Robert Dam. He's also made a documentary series, which was produced by Warner Brothers. So it was a really big thing also at the time when it came out. The first book was a bestseller, and we actually met him a couple of weeks ago with Balazs. And he's a really nice guy. He had a lot of stories to tell us. Also, he said that he was kind of done with this ex-Scientologist scene after the first book and the documentary, but then he was contacted by a person who had grown up in the Sea Org in Denmark, and he was surprised about the kind of living conditions and the experiences they had. So clearly the public Scientologists are not all aware of the abuse that happens in Scientology.
Yeah, you need to be a Sea Org member to see the whole picture, what they do all day long and how they treat each other. But we will go into that.
Yeah, so I think I can see Fluffer has already started some comments over there, so it's working. That's really good. Okay. And we'll just go through first the response that Scientology has given to this news article, and then we'll just take the comments afterwards, okay?
Yeah, and who, you mean Scientology responded? Like who responded exactly?
Yeah, I will get to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will get to that. So the person who is the communications representative for Church of Scientology in Denmark is actually someone that you guys might know from our videos already, because she's the same lady who is also an OSA agent, OSA responsible for the Scientology Denmark org. Her name is Annette Rafstrup. She also on her work time likes to take videos and photographs of us too. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just look that good or something. Who knows?
Of course. You look hot and I'm handsome.
Yeah, it is. It's getting hot, but I think it's getting hot for Scientology right now in Denmark as well.
Anyway, you are my girlfriend, so we look good together, right? Your husband said.
Yes. Let's not get to that now.
Okay.
Oh, I can see that Fluffer is commenting on my profile, but well, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, we are professionals.
Yeah, exactly. We're all professionals, so it doesn't matter. If you're able to put the Ron Hubcult's link on the chat, that would be also great. So if you haven't subscribed to him, then please do so. But let's look at this response. So I can just
can I tell a little story about Annette? Annette?
Yes.
Or whatever her name is.
Yes.
So when this year in February, when I tried to get back my money from Scientology, then first I went to AO and I asked the OSA guy, Eric, who should I contact in the Dicky org? Because, you know, AO should know, like they work together. OSA is under one organization. So anyway, and he acted like, oh, I don't know, maybe at the day org, it's Mimi or whoever it is, and on the foundation org, it's the other person. And he gave me 2 different numbers. And I just threw this paper out, like, okay, this I don't need. And even the chief security was there, the chaplain was there. So I went into Dicky org after, and I just said, I want to talk to OSA. And then Annette came after a while. Annette appeared and she said, so how can I help you, etc. We made the deal that they will transfer the money. And when the waiver was ready, then I went into Dicky org, and Eric was there too with Annette. And I signed the waiver with the Dicky org, you know, Annette. But I didn't sign with the AO, with Eric, you know, that waiver. And then I said, it has nothing to do with each other, the Dicky org and AO, it's a separate organization. So now I will go to AO and sign with this. With this, I said something which I am not allowed to say. With this HOMO guy. And Annette responded, don't call my husband that. Oh, so he's your husband, and your husband lied to me that he does not know who is responsible to get the money from Dicky org. It's his wife, you know, it's you. Okay. You know, so I put together the thing, like, okay, they are working together, they are wife and husband, but they lied to me all the time, you know. So this is how I figured out. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And this is actually, I'll just show here from here. I will not share the screen today, but this is the Scientology response, and you can see the lovely lady there. Picture is about 15 years old. I have much more fresh pictures. I actually have a whole entire catalog of pictures, but I'm not allowed to share them. So every time she's filming us, I feel like I need to return the favor. But we're not allowed to publish those images. So that's the best one you can get today. Okay, let's get to the article. So this is the Scientology response that is published on Berlingske today as the last part of the article that is written about Cyril. And the headline says, Scientology rejects defectors' criticism. it can be compared to life in other religious orders. Do you want to comment on this one already?
I mean, we should break it down sentence by sentence, because it's like other religious orders, they don't care what's going on in other religion. That's the point. First of all, if you are a Scientologist, you know, or a Sea Org member, or you belong to Scientology, sooner or later you will figure out that you cannot be a Christian or anything but Scientology, because that's the top, you know, that's over everything. So, and the criticism, it was not criticism of the guy, you know, Cyril.
Yeah, he was not criticizing. He was telling his own story.
Exactly. It's the truth. Sorry.
Yeah.
So there is no criticism. There is, you know, they need to face, they need to confront the truths. You know, what happened to certain people, many of us.
Yeah. Yes. Should we move on?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So the first paragraph. Scientology rejects the criticism from defector Cyril Chiquets, who talks in Berlingske about modern slavery and banning masturbation. And then the quote from Scientology is anti-religious hypocrisy, says the organization.
Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned, there is no criticism. There is, you know, this is how it happened. This is what it is. Yeah, the modern slavery. Yeah. I don't know who knows, but Annette made an article before that she claimed that she's the modern noun.
Exactly.
Yeah, so in a modern slavery, yes, she's the leader, you know, like responsible for Denmark to speak out. And yeah, here it is, the modern slavery. Yeah, I was a Sea Org member. Yes, we were. We worked, as we know, many hours without food and so on. So yes, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Cyril is telling the truth again. It is a modern slavery.
Yeah, and what you were referring to was actually an article where they had interviewed Annette. I think it's now about 15, 20 years ago, where she was there was made this kind of a fluff piece regarding Scientology, where she was claiming that the way she was living was like a modern nun. So yeah. Okay. Then I will move forward. In 2 articles in Berlingske, the former Scientologist Cyril Chiquet has told how, as a 16-year-old, he signed a contract with Scientology's elite unit, Sea Org, for the rest of his life. He has explained how he worked 90 hours a week with no days off, had poor quality food, and lived in dormitories in buildings in bad condition. The reason was, among other things, that his parents and siblings were in Scientology, and he was afraid to be ostracized if he spoke out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can I comment on this one?
Yes.
What was my experience or how I look at this?
Yeah. That's why we're talking together. Yes.
Yeah. Kids cannot consent. This is what we are fighting for. You know, stop this. And it is still happening in the Sea Org. Like they recruit 16 years old people or children. And it happened to Cyril too. And it's not right, you know, because what I experienced is, you know, this modern slavery, you know, we need to work like 110 hours, 90 hours a week. It's like, it's not for human, you know, and you are not treated well, meaning you cannot eat as much as you needed, you know, even when I went for a drink during my post time, who do I met? You know, that time next to the continent CLO, the senior I&R.
You want to clarify who that is?
She's in senior HCO, the HR. It's the HR, but the senior HR, basically in the real world. And the senior I&R means the inspection and report. She is just going around inspecting everything, what's wrong, you know, basically, because what is good, she ignores, but what's wrong, she reports it. And, you know, when you are on post, you are not allowed to leave your space, and you need to do your job. So do not go around them, you know, just wandering around. And when I met her, she asked me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Drinking." And she said, "Why not? Why now?" Because I was thirsty, you know. Okay, go back to your post, you know. Okay. So it's like, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, poor quality food, he mentioned. Yes. We know already in Los Angeles, there is what? Rice and beans. Many were on rice and beans. In Denmark, one time we got only rice, which was fantastic, you know. And every Saturday we got cheese and bread, and sometimes a little salami if there was enough. And that's it. That was the lunch. Like,
yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna get to the meat and bones of this response, I think. Berlingske has presented the criticism of Scientology, to which Annette Rafstrup, head of information in the Church of Scientology Denmark, has responded. Berlingske would have liked to have had an interview with the opportunity to ask follow-up questions and elaborate on the criticism, but Annette Rafstrup has chosen to respond in writing to some of the general points of criticism. And this is what Scientology always does. They do not have, even as masters of communication, they cannot have an open dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. After David Miscavige got the Ted Koppel interview, there is no, you know, confrontation with reporters or whoever. You know, there is no communication. There is just the minimal and you know, behind the scenes, just send some letters and that's it.
And I would think in this kind of case where it's getting like heavy media attention, they have probably got instructions already from above. This is not just Annette's response.
Yeah, for sure.
This is dictated from higher up. I just want to give a little comment here in between that what we are reading right now is an article or a response to an article that was released in a Danish newspaper today. So in order to follow up, you'll probably need to go and see the previous live video I did and then come back to this one after that. Okay. So here's a quote from Annette Rafstrup. Cyril Chiquet was a member of the religious order of the Church of Scientology Europe almost 20 years ago. The fact that he has succeeded in getting his story covered in Berlingske makes no sense apart from supporting and giving space to anti-religious hypocrisy, she writes.
I mean, is it a pleasure to go public about your suppression, how you were treated badly, you know? It's like, as I speak out, it's hard to speak out that you were a victim, you were human trafficked, you know, or whatever, that you were born into Scientology and you had no life, you were brainwashed. It's not easy to go public and say everything. So
Yeah. I can also say this is a totally baseless claim. You do not get paid anything for this kind of articles. I have met this person. He is not a person who seeks attention or fame or anything such as that. And you are not getting paid to be, giving this type of interview.
Yeah.
So the only thing he has to gain from this is actually putting the truth out there, and maybe helping some other people with that.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
a little healing for him,
yeah,
you know, to spread the word, to aware other people. So
yeah,
it's pointless claims from Scientology for sure.
Yeah. And now we get to the part where Scientology is explaining what the Sea Org is. Annette Rafstrup adds that Cyril Chiquet was only part of the Sea Org for a few years, and that she cannot respond to the claims in the article without explaining what the Sea Org, which she calls the Sea Organization, is. The Sea Organization consists of the most dedicated Scientologists, people who have decided...
Can you stop here? Can you stop here?
In middle of the sentence. Okay.
Yeah. The most dedicated Scientologists. Sorry. Then after you can repeat the whole sentence.
Yes.
The most dedicated Scientologists. Look, I was a raw meat.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry. I need to get it out now, you know.
I know.
And I joined the Sea Org, or at least I tried to. They recruited me. There is just recently he came out. He did an interview with Aaron, Leo.
Yes.
Also raw meat, you know, from the street, you know.
Yes.
In Los Angeles, from the testing center, and became Sea Org member. We are not dedicated at all. We have no idea what we joined to.
Yes.
So
yes.
Anyway.
Yes, because you were supposed to join an elite group of people that were basically saving the world.
Yeah.
Putting it very, very short, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I will just read the sentence from the start again. The Sea Organization consists of the most dedicated Scientologists, people who have decided to devote their lives to voluntarily serving their religion. She writes and adds, as volunteers and members of the religious order, the members of the Sea Organization work long hours. They live in a communal housing, eat together, and wear uniforms. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, she said Cyril was in uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
He was eating, rice and beans. Thank you.
Yes.
And you got 3 shirts for the whole week. Yeah, you wear uniforms. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Should we go
live together? Wait. We live together. Yeah. 8 and 12 of us in one room. Thank you for one bathroom, if you have bathroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's continue with this list. Eat together and wear uniforms. They receive medical and dental care.
Yeah.
How much medical and dental care did you receive while you were in the Sea Org?
So that is MLO. It's called MLO, the Medical Liaison Office, who is basically, it's a person who is between you and the doctor. You know, she is the one who alerts the doctor if there is something. So she is not a doctor, okay? She's just a person. Anybody can be this medical person.
Yes.
As we know already, the second gen was this person, Bianca, on MLO.
Yeah.
Like without any education, without nothing. So she had to check people. But it doesn't mean that you get the medical attention. Even if you have whatever you have, they will give you an assist. you know, some touch assist, some locational assist, whatever assist, and that's it.
So if you like lose a tooth, they're like, tooth, please, you know, touch your gum.
Yeah, touch your hole in there or whatever, you know. And the bleeding will stop.
Okay.
Or, you know, I never heard that there is a dentist who you can go to as a Sea Org member in any basis where I was. And you know, I asked around and I heard some things, but nobody ever provided any dental checkout or, you know, care.
Yes.
And you need to pay for it. That's the point. If you have any problem, for example, with your tooth, then you need to go to the dentist, you know, after a while, because you cannot go to session, you know, you have your attention, it needs to be handled after a while, and then you need to pay for it, whatever it was, the cost was.
Yes. Okay, next thing listed is their transport is provided.
Yeah, base to base, like CLO to AOSH-EU, yes. But if you need to go to somewhere else, you need to pay for the bus or the train or whatever you travel with. They recommend not to use the taxi because it's super expensive, but you can.
Okay, yeah. And basically you wouldn't have money to pay for any type of transportation anyways. So the berthing in outside Copenhagen is so far that there's no way to bicycle or walk to AO or New Era or CLO.
Yeah, no. But there is sometimes, you know, at certain time there is a bus coming to New Era, to CLO, to AO and back, you know, or even to Corona if it is needed. Yeah, they do that. But if you are alone and, for example, you need to go to the airport because you are on a mission or something, you need to pay for it.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So it continues. In short, all expenses related to their duties are covered by the church.
Yeah, if the church has the money for it, because you need to purchase. There is a purchase order. You need to purchase the things. Let's say I was the course admin, and you know everything is provided for us. Yes, an office, a table, a chair, you know, pencils, not the pencil, the storage place, you know. But you need to write a purchase order and list out what you need, like papers for 1 week. So, and if it is not approved, disapproved, then you cannot get any paper. So in that week, you cannot do your job. Let's say you cannot print out anything, any orders, nothing. So it's not really true.
Yeah. Also with the wording, I find it a bit troublesome because you are talking about people devoting their lives and then they are saying expenses related to their duties are covered by the church. What about everything else?
Yeah, what about everything else?
Yeah. But let's move on. In addition, they get pocket money so they can buy personal items as all other expenses are covered by the church. So that's what Cyril experienced.
Yeah, he got some pocket money. Yeah, if he got some pocket money. It doesn't say like we got pocket money and how much it is. You know, we already know it's $50 or $46 in America, and here is as much as it is.
Yeah, and actually what he was saying in the article was that when he joined the Sea Org at 16, he was only getting the equivalent of $7 a week, which was then later raised to $14 per week. So that was not even the full pay. So when you were a minor, you were even, you know, punished for being underage and not getting the full Sea Org salary, or what do you call it, pocket money.
Yeah, and you do the same job no matter how old are you. So
Yeah.
this is how they punish you. This is how they brainwash you. This is how,
Yeah.
get you emotionally,
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah. Okay. So the article continues. In her written response, Annette Rafstrup does not relate to the fact that Cyril Chiquet was a child of 16 years old when he became a member of the Sea Org. She instead points out that other religions practice something similar. It can be compared to a life in other religious orders, and in them there are also members who want to leave the order like Cyril. But this rarely means that they leave their faith, she writes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a little child, 16 years old. And what Scientology respond to it? Nothing.
Mm.
They just ignored. Oh, yeah, he was 16, and it's called no answer,
Yeah, exactly. She's also not
When,
saying, she's not mentioning any other religious, what is it called, volunteers or workers or whatever who commit their life to the religion that are underage. Where does that
yeah,
happen? In which religion does that happen? I haven't heard of any.
I don't go into other religions now.
No, it was just a little, little side comment. Okay. Cyril Chiquet tells in the article about his upbringing and experiences with Scientology that he initially wanted out of the Sea Org to instead of become a civilian Scientologist who can work and live outside Scientology's auspices and then buy Scientology's courses. He wanted to do it in that way because he wanted to maintain contact with his mother and other family members in Scientology.
Yeah. So first of all, who leaves the Sea Org, of course, most of the time that person does not want to leave Scientology either, unless you were very raw meat and you were on EPF and you saw this is crazy and you just went back, and that was it. That was your whole Scientology, and now never again. And that is the other part you were born into, or somehow you stayed for a long time and you come out of the Sea Org, and of course you don't want to lose your family, you don't want to lose your friends, your group, everything around you. So you want to be a public, or in good standing, even though you don't do Scientology too much or separate or keep some distance between, still.
And that was also your motivation to stay in Scientology, was not to lose the contacts and the so-called friendships you had in Denmark.
Yes, because it has been already around 8 years I was in Denmark, and I just built my relationships with most of it with Scientologists. I had like maybe 2-3 non-Scientologist friends, so I had double life. They knew that I'm a Scientologist, but they didn't care. So because I did not do any Scientology on them. We were, the buddies. We hung around on the weekend, drink a bit, and etc. So that kind of friends.
Yeah. Okay.
Good friends.
Yeah. Okay. So he tried to leave the Sea Org as a public Scientologist, to become a public Scientologist. However, he could not be allowed to do that. He experienced the organization punishing him in various ways until 9 months. After 9 months, he chose to escape.
Yeah. So I need to go back a bit. When you leave the Sea Org, you are going through some check, investigation, yeah. And you are on mass work, the physical work. you are separated from others, and so on. And it went on in this case for 9 months, in Cyril's case. So that's why he, as he mentions, he chose to escape. Or what was the last part?
Yeah, escape. And do you think it was also partly because he was married that it was, double the loss for the Sea Org because they wanted to leave both him and his wife? Do you think he got treated even worse because of that?
I don't know if it is even worse, but when I left, I was a single person, so I had nothing to do with anybody. But when you are married, as many cases, as Aaron's cases, as you name all of them, you get separated, and you are told this one, the other person is told this one, you want to leave, she doesn't want to leave, etc. So you are in a conflict. You cannot talk to each other, and you cannot find out like what's going on exactly. So that's an extra punishment for sure for a couple, for a married couple.
Yeah. So now we get to another quote from Annette. The Sea Organization's members participate in Scientology training and auditing for a certain period every day, but otherwise they work committed to promoting Scientology's goals through each of their special functions.
Yeah, that's why you can see staff members and Sea Org members, in this case Sea Org members, who are in the Sea Org for 30, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they are not even clear. So yeah, they never get any auditing. They might study something, some courses, but nobody has done the basics, the congresses, nobody studies anything.
Yeah, it's a blatant lie. It's so obvious because Cyril was clearly stating in the article that he hardly could manage his work in his waking hours, never mind taking any kind of courses or auditing.
Exactly.
Totally out of question.
Yeah. When you are on post, then you need to produce. Your statistic has to go up. So what you can skip is auditing and course. Go study.
Yeah.
So, and even you skip that, you need to maintain your post, which you cannot, because there is a quota, and it's just BS all around your statistic. And nobody can manage it. No, it's going down. It's shrinking. That's why Scientology is shrinking. Nobody can work insanely.
Okay, let's go to the next total nonsense claim. We know it already.
Yeah, I read it.
Yes. The tasks in the Sea Organization correspond to those found in other religious orders. They spearhead the church's extensive social activities, and the members of the Sea Organization are very rare of the world they live in, as they work dedicatedly to help humanity. They do not live an isolated life, but are very much part of society.
Yeah.
Where's the proof?
Okay.
Where are the people on L. Ron Hubbard way? Why are there people redirecting Sea Org members when we show up in the city? Why are the doors locked when we walk past by?
Yeah. Okay, there is so many on this one. Okay, 2 seconds.
Yes.
The social activities, you experience, for example, that one, or anybody.
Is the roll call you're standing next to each other several times a day? That's a social activity in Scientology. I mean, that's my guess what she's referring to.
Yeah, I mean, what it means. The way to happiness, the VM, the volunteer ministers, the drug-free world, and so on. Right?
Yeah, to help humanity.
And you experienced already in Denmark that they do such a thing. I don't know if it is successful. When I was the VMIC in charge for like maybe a month or two, we put out the tent, and I was there maybe an hour after and an hour before we closed it, and there was basically nobody who passed by or bought a book or a pinch test, or we directly to the church. So yeah.
And the last sentence of they do not live an isolated life, but are very much part of society. That's the one that is. It's such a ridiculous lie. What can you even say to that?
I mean, look, there are dogs on the street. It's part of the city.
Yeah.
Dogs on the street. So it is, part of the society, or what society, or whatever it's called.
Society, yeah.
Society, yeah, sorry. Yeah, they are part of. They are in the middle of the city, as in Los Angeles, as in Copenhagen. Yeah. Nobody likes them. Everybody knows they are cold, they behave strangely. So nobody joins Scientology. It's shrinking. So yeah, it's part of for a while until it's closed down, at least in Denmark, very soon, as you can see.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not feel they are part of society. In the way that you could actually explain it in a way that she could reason it, maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Then we're talking about the Sea Org contract, the eternal commitment. Cyril Chiquet tells how he signed that he would work for 1 billion years for Scientology's elite unit Sea Org when he was 16 years old. Annette Rafstrup writes about it. Members of the Sea organization signed a 1 billion-year contract to symbolize their eternal commitment to the religion, and is still signed by all members to this day.
Okay, so if it is just symbolize, just a symbolic commitment, or it has nothing to do. You become just a volunteer. Then why is it so hard to leave the Sea Org? If it is, then I can just symbolically walk out, which you can. That's why we do these videos. Like, yes, please do so. Just turn around, never go back. We are here to help you. SPTV Foundation, and so on.
Yeah. So the security will also just symbolically hold you back when you are trying to leave. Yes.
Actually, they are not allowed to touch you. But, when they stand in front of the door and, they are a bit bigger and you are brainwashed and you don't know what to do, then, yeah, they might stop you. But otherwise, you can just go through them. They will step away. Just tone 40, as they might say, with intention. You just go and they go away.
Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Yeah.
It is a symbolic document that corresponds to the pledges of allegiance of other religious communities and orders, and it serves to symbolize a person's eternal commitment to the aims, purposes, and principles of the Scientology religion. Can I ask one question here? When you signed the 1 billion-year contract, did you know what you were writing? Signing under?
Signing, you mean? Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yes.
I had no clue.
Yeah.
I was a raw meat. I did not even know what Scientology means.
Yes.
Yes. I did not know anything.
Yeah.
Or
And
what
you
I
would,
will do, what the purpose is, or the aims or principles. Because the purpose and the aims are good in Scientology, without any insanity, any war and stuff like this. That's fantastic if we can reach that goal. But the principles, how they operate or how they do, it's not good. So
yeah.
and
you
to
were,
commit yourself to those policies and bulletins,
yeah. And you were in a better position than a 16-year-old child who is signing that, or even an
Yeah.
11-year-old when Cyril was signing it first time. He was
Yes.
11 years old. If you at 20, how old were you? 20?
26.
At 26 did not understand what you were signing under. How can you expect an 11-year-old to understand what they are signing?
Yeah. And thank you for lighting up this one that I was better. And yes, that's why it's so, I am ashamed to speak out how stupid I was to sign this contract and stay into Scientology for more than a decade. So it's not easy to speak out and admit all these things what you have done wrongly, of course. And yeah, he could not, he had no choice but to sign this contract because of the family and stuff.
Yeah, but still, you were also in a weaker position, and you were taking advantage of that. So you
Yeah,
should
of
not,
course.
you should absolutely not blame yourself for what happened.
No, I'm not blaming anybody. That's why I speak out to let people know first, look what you are signing, or what Scientology is, what religion, because in Denmark it is not even a religion. It's not considered a religion. So, and they call themselves church. So it's like, don't be confused, as I was basically. But anyway, continue, please.
Yes. Then Annette Rafstrup refers to the late PhD and associate professor of religious studies at Washington State University, Frank K. Flynn, who has written about the Sea Org and its role within Scientology. He has done this in a so-called white paper, which is available on scientologyreligion.dk. I'm not aware of this, but she is quoting him here. The statement above should make one thing clear. The common life and activities of the Sea Organization within Church of Scientology correspond entirely to the common life and activities of a traditional religious orders in East and West in the past and in the present. Should I continue?
Do you want to say something about this? Because you have some
I'm
viewpoint.
just thinking. I can't think of. I can't think anything in the east, in the west, or in the south, or in the north that would be similar. That's my only comment.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I mean, what do I know? He's a PhD.
Yeah. Just continue.
Yes, as in Buddhism and Christianity, the religious order of the Sea Organization serves an exemplary manner to preserve and spread knowledge of the teachings and technology discovered by L. Ron Hubbard. The Sea Organization's goal is the spiritual survival not only of its own members and members of the Church of Scientology, but also of humanity and the universe itself. In this way, the Sea Organization is like the religious orders in the great religions of the world.
Yeah, Scientology is about LRH. We know that. The teachings and technology. Yeah, this is what we are against, because it doesn't help humanity. It doesn't help people. you can imagine that you have a reactive mind, because this is what we have to get rid of, basically. First of all, that's the teaching. That's one teaching of LRH. You have a reactive mind. Imagine a pink elephant. Give me all your money, give me all the house, all your belongings, and then realize that there is no pink elephant. It was only in your mind. Thank you so much. You are clear. So
Yes,
that's a teaching. Like, who needs this? How can you save the humanity with this? This is a scam. And this, what was it? The Sea organization is like the religious orders in the great religions of the world.
Yes.
What does it mean?
I don't know. He's the PhD, I guess.
Okay, so
it sounds like L. Ron Hubbard nonsense to me.
Yeah, or we need to go back to Rees, a dick swinging. You know, like we are the best of the world.
Yeah.
We know how to save humanity by destroying lives and families. Oh, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. This is touching the article. There's there's a quote from Cyril here. In the article regarding Cyril Chiquet, he says that sex before marriage was forbidden in the Sea Org, and also that masturbation is forbidden, and I knew it was forbidden. But I couldn't help it. Today I see it as a kind of mental abuse. They make me think I was evil. He also says that he wanted to leave Sea Org, but was prevented from doing so until he escaped in 2009. Then we come to Annette's response. This is the last paragraph, and I think this is the most infuriating part of the whole response. I can't believe they did this. So, Annette Hafstrup writes, the stricter rules regarding sexual activities and marital relations in the Sea Organization, which Cyril Chiquet criticizes so strongly, are part of the tradition of our religious order, as it is in others. He was unable to control his sexual urges, thereby disqualifying himself from membership in the Sea Organization, as members are expected to adhere to the highest level of ethical behavior.
So, okay. You want me to comment on this one?
I don't know if we need to comment on this one. This is so unbelievable that she would even put this in writing.
Yeah, but basically what Cyril says, you know, the marriage is forbidden, or the sex is forbidden before marriage. Yeah, that's kind of fine, you know, if it would be only that. But the sex is in the Sea Org, it's the touching is already sex. You know, yesterday there was a live Natalie and Ono Nora, and they talked about Eric Berg and stuff, and you know, masturbation and all this stuff. And it is okay. It is part of our life. We are human beings, you know, with a body, like. And he couldn't help it. Yeah, everybody does it. I mean, it's okay to do it. It's like why is it unethical? Because you know they are the best. What was it? The ethical behavior, the highest level of ethical behavior.
Yes.
Who cares what you do in private when you are on your own? You know.
Yeah. Somehow to try and disqualify him in the end of her response by saying that he was unable to control his sexual urges, thereby disqualifying himself from the membership in the Sea organization, as the members are expected to adhere to the highest level of ethical behavior. I think that's so disgusting. The last sentence is, unlike in many other religious orders, however, members of the Sea organization are allowed to marry, something Cyril Chiquet also became while he was in the Sea organization.
Yeah, just as Ono Nora, just as Aaron, just as everybody, like. And he didn't disqualify himself because of this. He wanted to leave,
Yes.
He was not disqualified. He was a Sea Org member. He wanted
Yes.
to leave.
Yes.
So what is she talking about,
Yes.
In this case, again, Cyril broke up with Scientology. It's
Yes.
not like he was not qualified. He was super qualified, yes.
Yes. Yes. So this was the response from the Church of Scientology in full, written by the communication representative Annette Rafstrup. This lady here, the same lady that was intimidating Bianca and Samuel when we were protesting in front of AOSH EU 3 weeks ago.
Yes. Any other things you want to talk about?
Not at this moment. I think we could just have a look at the comments.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because I can see there's 30 starred comments. So I hope you're not in a hurry to go anywhere. So, okay. So Donna's really happy about our live. I think it's really nice to see the same faces or the same names every time on our lives. I guess we're doing something right over here.
We might, yeah.
Yes. And Cece's saying, oh, I didn't want to miss this. Saw your video last night. Good job getting the paper. Congrats. So I just want to clarify that this has got nothing to do with us. This is a publication. This publication is related to a release of a new book, which tells the story about children growing up in Sea Org in Denmark in the 80s and 90s. And the book is written by an author called Robert Dam, who was member of Scientology for 20 years until he left. I will add the link to his own Scientology, the book that tells his own story in Scientology in the description, and I'll also put a link to the pre-order of the new book. But the next question is actually asking if the book is in English, and unfortunately, no, the book is not in English. It's in Danish.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. So when we talked with Robert, he basically explained that the option to getting an English translation is totally dependent on the performance of the book in the original printed language. So we are really gonna hope that the book is gonna sell well and get a lot of media attention. I'm gonna go after work tomorrow and get the book for sure.
Yeah. And when it does, then it will be translated, and then we can buy it in English as well.
Yes, exactly. And for sure, we'll let you know if there comes a translation anytime soon. Oregon Valley Girl is saying, have not been paying attention outside our borders, but thank you from me. You don't see us, but we see you and are thinking of you. Love and hugs against the Chitty cult. Thank you. CC has had some problems to know who wrote the article that I was reading. That was edited response from Church of Scientology to the article I read live last night. So there were some comments made by the journalist as well in between there. So I hope it was clear enough as we went along. And then I actually wanted to have our own ex-Sea Org member to give the most professional commentary on the statement that the Scientology was making. Rika is here. She's thanking for yesterday's live. Hi, Rika. And Donna's saying, don't forget to hit that like button for sure. And don't forget to go and subscribe to Ron Hubcult. He's very close to 1,000 subscribers. So
actually, it's only 250 is missing. So it's not much.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not much. You're getting there. And Serge is here.
Wow.
Yes. Children were being abused and they normalized it inside the hotels. Breaking news. It wasn't normal at all. Yes. Yes. We all know that it's the public that needs to be informed about this.
Yeah. And that's why I chose to speak out. I mean, you pressured me a bit, you pushed me a bit to make my own channel, and this SPTV space made me
gently encouraging you. Don't say push.
Yeah, it's the same thing. To speak out, because this is enough, what Serge experienced, and Cyril, and all these people, all these beautiful people. I love them all. And they deserve life. And now they got life. Okay, that's good. Now we are trying to live our life, but people are still inside this court, so we need to have them.
Yes. And Bianca is in the chat. She's also interested in the medical care because she was sick with bronchitis for 3 months before they took her to the doctor.
You see, there is no medical care at all. Nada.
No. Donna Davies saying Cyril is a brave man. I respect it. It must have been so hard to tell his story. Hats off to him. Yes. Exactly. No one wants to get their face on a newspaper with this kind of story just to get attention to themselves. There's a much bigger purpose behind this. Serge is writing, my grandma had stage 4 breast cancer, and Debbie Cook would find plenty of excuses for the weeks that they didn't have it on the FP, so she couldn't get chemo treatment, ended unalived.
The financial plan, the FP.
Okay, so due to lack of money, your grandmother didn't get treatment. That's really horrible. I'm really sorry about that.
You see, sooner or later I will cry in one of the videos, which I don't want to. I always tell you, offline, that I don't want to cry in any live video, or maybe I should. But when I hear this, or when I read these comments and chat, that's why we need to speak out. That's why we need to tell everybody. And not even about to alert people, not even about only Scientology, but all the cults.
Yes.
It has to be stopped.
Yes. Serge has also written, civilian kids and Sea Org kids all exposed to the disgusting audits, ethics handlings, and disgusting grooming courses. Yes. That's also what the article was about yesterday. There was a lot of abuse in Denmark. Bianca is saying, when you say you want to leave, you have to route out. I knew a couple at Flag who were on that for 2 years before they got to leave.
Yeah, you see. Fortunately, I was on it for 2 months-ish, around. Not for long, because I was not posted. I was, just a CR member for not even 1.5 years. So they let me go easily. But when you are born in, or when you are a CR member for 20 years, it's much harder. And when you are posted and you are married, so it goes on how hard it is to leave.
Yeah, and clearly it was one of the issues there was that Cyril was married because they gave the separation order to them.
Yeah.
So they were not able to communicate together.
Yeah, that's the standard. Who are married, they always get the separation order. And they are not allowed to talk to each other. It's always like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. And search hashtag no more kids in Scientology. Yes, we agree. We agree.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me see.
And the other one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Bianca is also here commenting on the being part of the society, not isolated, very much part of society. I can't even. There were kids that have never been to school. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no life.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no. Yeah. They are not part of it. Not at all.
Yeah. And right now, what you see in Los Angeles, because of the way Scientology has responded, there's probably a lot of children that are not even allowed to go outside at the moment because they're so afraid to get any kind of negative attention. I mean, kids should be allowed to play outside and be with friends and go to school, and they are depriving them of all the normal things that every kid should experience in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Search is saying it's shrinking, but kids are. Oh, what did I do? Oh, here.
Nothing.
I don't recognize this word. Ensnared all over. Hundreds of them kids can't consent to be turned into slaves. Yeah. Yeah. Kids can't consent really to anything. They need to have responsible parents.
Yeah, you need to. But they are not responsible. Scientologists are not responsible at all.
No. It seems like when you sign the CEO contract, at the same time, you are signing all your children to Scientology. So you are not personally responsible for them anymore.
Yeah.
Kids can't consent to sign binding contracts. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. And they cannot work. I mean, they can work as much as we do, but mentally they will be totally destroyed.
Yeah.
It's super hard for a grown up man to do this. And there is women, elderly people, kids, they cannot do. And the physical health will be gone.
Yeah.
For sure. The mental health will be gone after a while, for sure.
Yeah. So, tone 40, no does not mean no. So this is in relation of leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do everything to keep you inside, to handle you, to stay, to work for them. So there is no no. Even Grant Cardone mentioned on the Biggest Salesman, the movie was based on the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
When they talk to each other and the no, there is an interest. There is no interest. When it's a no, it is an interest. So there is no. So you cannot say or sell something to a person who says no.
Yes.
Anyway, so there is no in Scientology.
Yeah. Search is saying we are grateful to people like you announcing it. Owning it is the only way forward. Only way forward. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Scientology builds in toxic shame. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Bianca is asking, did Annette mention how much Scientology donated to the professor's research? Probably a lot of money. A lot of money. That was really L. Ron Hubbard-esque kind of nonsense that he was writing there. So I would not want to quote that. But yeah, he probably got paid very well for that. New name is saying, L. Ron Hubcult, it is good and healthy to see you smile and even laugh as you now realize how the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting better. The SPTV helps me a lot, and the channel, you know, and to talk about it, and
Yeah.
people acknowledge me and sending some love, and you know, Eric is inviting me, and stuff like this, and people help each other, and it's good to see, and it really helps me to get over it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure everyone is helping you to you know heal from this experience also, because it is so recent for you. I also forget it sometimes that it's only a couple of years ago you left. So because most of the time you're pretty good, you feel like quite balanced, but talking about this can't be easy always.
No, it's not easy.
Yeah, Oregon Valley Girl is saying rewriting history is part of the evil playbook. Totally. Serge is saying the things L. Ron Hubbard discovered was torture, plain and simple. It's all fake pitch to hide how they are going to abuse you.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to understand how evil he was. How you know, you need to look up for his life history, what he has done, who he has met, you know, and you can put it together. You don't need to try all the auditing or the fact check. So please do not go into Scientology and find out yourself how they can destroy you mentally. So yeah, anyway, he's evil. We know that.
Yes.
And his technique is very evil.
Yes. And then we have Phil Jones here. Good to see you here. I'm pretty sure the Buddhists don't have lower conditions or RPF.
Yeah.
I would like to give this comment a lot of stars today. Best comment of the night. Plain and simple. And Serge, I really appreciate you being in the chat tonight. Yeah. If any other religions out there are turning kids into slaves with their passports locked up, they are getting prosecuted as child trafficking. Yeah, true. And I doubt there are. I doubt there are any other religions, or should we just say cults, that are turning kids into slaves. Not at least in the Western world that I'm aware of. And definitely not as big as Scientology. Bianca is saying Scientology can abuse you and imprison you, but don't you dare to have a sex drive. Yes. Yeah. Don't you dare to be a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I never read any LRH materials about sex, and except the sex and pain policy, or pain and sex. I don't even remember.
What is that?
Literally what it is. The psychiatry. Oh my God.
We don't need to get into it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I read it too many times. Or I mean, many times, but I don't really remember because it was just bullshit.
Okay.
It's literally about when you have sex and pain in the same time, then it re-stimulates you, and it, you know, you get some
Okay.
engram and whatever. I don't know. It's bullshit. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to say is,
Mm.
we can talk about it, this pain and sex bulletin, in another time.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I want to. Now you gave me more details. I'm not sure if I'm that interested.
No, it just screw up your mind a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Was
So, but
50 Shades of Grey inspired by the pain and sex, or?
yeah, and some psychiatric shit in it. So
Okay. Yeah. Maybe she got the inspiration for the book from there then.
yeah,
Yeah.
but other than this, I never read anything.
Yeah.
But the other thing, that there is no heavy petting
Mm.
and stuff like this. I don't
Mm.
know if it is from LRH or from the command intention from,
Yeah.
but when I graduated, or I finished the EPF and
Mm-hmm.
I became a Sea Org member, I was ready to flirt, legally, 2D
Yeah.
flowing, because I was a single and whatever.
Mm.
And again, as I mentioned, there was some do's and don'ts about when you are a trainee, you are not
Mm-hmm.
posted. You are a Sea Org member, but not posted. So you are a trainee, and you are not allowed to do anything still for
Mm.
3 months.
Mm.
After the 3 months was over, we
Mm-hmm.
got another issue which said, until you are posted, you are not allowed to do anything with anybody. No
Mm.
2D flowing, no sex, nothing, nada.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is how they destroy the second dynamic, basically.
Mm. 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 New name is saying, thank you for last night's live and this one. This info is fire. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was so happy when I heard about the book coming out, and then talking with Cyril, I found out about the article as well. And yeah, it's truly amazing that the Danish media has really taken on this case right now, and I really hope that that's going to continue also going forward. So anything that's happening in Denmark, you can be sure that we are going to be sharing it with you. Is Mr. Hubcult frozen? You did froze for a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay. Good. Good. Let's have a look if there's any live comments here. We can have a look here. Because that was all the start comments there. There's Cinderella saying Search is amazing. Thank you both. Yes, Search is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love Search.
Yes. And Fuzzy is here saying hi, Scientology up north, and Ron Hubcult. Thanks for sharing this information. Hello. Bianca is confessing here. This is embarrassing, but I didn't know what sex is until after I left the Sea Org. Yeah, well, you're living in a very different kind of parallel universe. So if it's not something that you are told about, and you're not allowed to, look into anything outside what's communicated to you, it's not really surprising.
Yeah, and this is horrible. These stories are horrible. As Ono, Nora, and Natalie were live yesterday, and they also talked about the sex stuff. And to grow up like this, and on purpose to stop this urge and this these feelings and all this knowledge about sex, it's horrible to not have that. But it's okay to hear about it by an adult person, but you don't know what he's talking about, like whatever they did with each other. It's like,
yeah,
it's so messed up, the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree. Don't know, David, the book you refer to, is that from Cyril? I missed that part. No, the book is written by an ex-Scientologist called Robert Dam. I will put all the information in the description after this live, but he's an ex-Scientologist who was a public Scientologist for most of the time. I think he was shortly in staff, but most of the time he was a public Scientologist. But he also got into trouble with Scientology and in the end decided to leave. And he had to fight very hard to get his family out with him at the same time. So he's written a book about it. It's on Amazon available. I'll put the link below. But now he's publishing a new book that comes out tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's only in Danish for now. But it's telling about the abuse of children that grew up in the Sea Org in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, and he's a super nice guy. We met him, and I really liked him.
Mm-hmm.
He has knowledge about many things.
Yes.
Regarding to Scientology.
Yeah, and I particularly enjoyed the fact that you even knew some of the same people, and he was shocked to hear that some of his old Scientology friends were still in.
Yeah, unfortunately,
after all these years. Yeah, but I think that's about it for this one, and I'll just thank everyone so much for coming here, and Fluffer starring the comments for us, and Ron Hubcult taking his time to show up as well, so we could get some more insightful comments than mine for this article. And we're gonna be back on protesting soon also, so we have planned something for next weekend. Yes. So yeah, that's about it for now. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.